got into everywhere that I applied, including the University of Waterloo, which was my top choice. So I'm extremely happy with the results that I got. Hello, my name is Ben. I'm from London, and I took the PortPrep Architecture Portfolio Camp last summer and had great results with it. I would definitely recommend PortPrep to any aspiring architecture students. At the very least, it's going to give you insight onto what to include in your portfolio. And in my experience, it will definitely give you an advantage in your applications to university. Yeah, the biggest thing was definitely to like have a meaning and a theme behind every piece. Like Sam really helped with that. He taught me that like, because I'm not the best artist, so I had to kind of get by with the meanings and like ideas behind each one of my pieces, I think. And that's something that I don't think I would have really thought of on my own. Like, had I just gone into my portfolio, I think I would have just tried to make like the best art that I could have. And I don't think I would have had nearly as good results. Being able to see other students' portfolios, like, I think had I just gone in blind, I would have had a lot of not necessarily struggle, but I don't think I would have included anything that I really should be including, because I would have just thought to include like my best work, which in reality is not necessarily what you want to do. You want to include your best work, but you don't want to just have 10 really, really good drawings. You want to have like a wide array of stuff and stuff that you're passionate about, which was kind of the theme about my portfolio, was myself and my interests. Okay, so this was one of my favorite pieces and one of the pieces that I was inspired of at the camp. So I don't know if you remember, but I had we were exploring negative space and like using that to create the kind of tell a message almost. And this was something that I thought of during the camp. I made a little thing out of it out of like hard paper or something just by cutting out pieces. But it's a lampshade design that uses negative space and like holes in the sides to portray a piece of music. Because music is such an influential aspect of my life. I've been doing music like ever since I was a kid, and I've done it all throughout high school and everything. So it's a reoccurring theme you'll see in my portfolio. But each one of the sides of the lampshade is just like all of the different notes and pitches are represented by the different like light and shadows that would be hit when you shine a piece of light through it to make a piece of music. The piece is called Pusta. It's 4 gypsy dances and it's 4 movements. So each one of the sides is about 10 to 16 bars of the themes of each movement that I put into this lampshade. So this one was, it was just line art that I did like pretty early on into my portfolio. I think this was one of my first pieces that I made for my portfolio. It was something I like working with pen and ink, but I've never tried to do it with with trying to get shading and like the light bouncing off the metal and stuff, as well as just mechanics and like little intricate details and stuff is something that interests me a lot. So I wanted to kind of do this piece as well. The lines on the edge are supposed to like kind of represent time, since this is a watch. This piece, I like this piece as a drawing. It was, like I said, it was one of the first ones that I did. And it was definitely a neat experience to kind of experiment with pen and ink and how to use it to like create shading and everything. Yeah, all of my pieces, that was kind of my goal with them. This one, it was actually a Carlton prompt. I think the prompt was the world around you. And this was my take on it. They, as an example, they used on their website, they said like, you might want to go out and draw a factory or something that's near your house. But I didn't want to do like the literal world around me. I wanted to kind of do like the actual, like my experiences and the different aspects that make up my life. This piece was also done during it was late February, so it was like right during exam, or early February, so it was right during exams, and it was right when all the university applications were done, and it was right when I had like so much schoolwork and so much stress and everything. So it was like a lot of my life was coming together, and it was really fast paced and like hard to keep track of everything. So I wanted to, this piece kind of represents that. There's like a lot of different, you'll see there's like music notes coming out of my head, and there's a clarinet and a violin. And there's like math and everything, and an oak leaf because I go to Oak Ridge. Uh, everything like that. All coming out of like my head in the middle. And it was how I wanted to have my take on the world around me rather than taking it literally, I guess. Next. Yeah, the chair design. So this one was another one that we did at PortPrep. This was one we did at the camp, but I ended up just including it the way it was because I really liked the sketch, like all the different sketches, and you could really see my process of design in it, which was something I wanted to include because I don't think I have really many other pieces that include the entire process, like from sketching and everything. So that was why I included it the way it was. I didn't change anything about it. The piece itself is supposed to be, we took the idea of upcycling. Sam gave me that idea actually of upcycling, which is taking old things and making it into something completely different, which was the purpose of this actual chair design. And I think it was overall, it was really helpful to play with that idea and everything. The next one was, it's not my favorite piece, but it was definitely a learning experience using marker, because other than at the camp, which is where I learned the skills to actually be able to make this piece, but other than at the camp, I had never really liked to use marker. I was always kind of a black and white kind of person. I always like to just use pen or Sharpie or anything like that, pencil. So using color and like such contrasting color and everything was something that I wanted to try to do with this piece, as well as like geometry and perspective and everything like that. Yeah, the idea behind the actual piece was actually given to me by my dad, who has plenty of ideas. But the idea is in not so distant future, you know, like people overpopulation, and because of pollution, everything, only the rich and powerful can still live in their houses, but they have to be lifted up into the sky on top of other buildings because like we're running out of ground space and everything like that. So like I said before, music plays a very big role on my life, and it played even a big role in my interview and my portfolio and everything. So I wanted to draw an actual violin, again using a medium that I've never even really touched before. So I had some oil and water pastels and stuff that I've gotten as gifts or whatever over the years, and I wanted to use that to try to make like a realistic looking drawing, which is again something that I don't really explore. So this is what I did with this piece. Aha, now this is my favorite piece. So in addition to music playing a big role in my life, like tech and computers and everything is also a big influence on my life. I've built my own computer, and I've built friends' computers, family computer, and everything like that, designed it all out. So something that I've always wanted to do, in addition to tech and computers being something big, woodworking is something also that I learned from school and I've loved to do. So kind of a dream that I've always wanted to do was actually design and build my own computer case. There'll be pictures on the next page. Out of wood. And it was also another one that was actually inspired by Waterloo. When I was going there for the tours, they had the studios on display, and I thought it'd be really cool to actually like bring my own computer in and I like be able to work at the studios there and stuff. But I didn't want to just bring in any old computer, so I wanted to make my own, design my own, and eventually build my own. So these are just the sketches that I did on my iPad of like how I wanted things to actually be laid out. But on the next page, I believe, is actually the final product. And something that I brought into my interview as well, something that I did is I made an actual prototype just out of MDF to scale. And then I brought the final thing as well, and I brought both of them so they could see my design process and like what I had to go through in order to actually finish it. And that's the actual finished thing. Something else we learned at PortPrep was to not just take a picture like in your living room. It was to get a piece of big piece of paper and actually have the curve at the bottom so you can't see the crease. And I used that when taking pictures of this. It probably took the longest out of all my pieces, designing it and actually building the thing. But it was definitely, I had the most fun, I think, while doing it. And this one didn't feel like I was, it felt more like a personal project. Like I was just doing something for me and I was able to put it in my portfolio. Then this is my final piece. And it was, again, this was another photograph that I took at the camp. This was, I think it's just a building right near where the camp was held. And the roof, I really liked all of the contrast, I think, is why I chose this photograph. I didn't want to, one of the things that they tell you a lot in the, like if you actually go to the open houses at all the different universities and they talk about portfolios, is they say they don't want to just see like a really beautiful photograph that you took on your trip to Ireland or whatever like that, because it doesn't have really any meaning other than to you. So this was like, it's not necessarily like the most beautiful to look at picture, but I think it has a lot of meaning and a lot of the design aspects, a lot of contrast between the yellow and the gray and the blue, and then as well the yellow and the blue in the windows and all the lines converging at the top was something that I wanted to, this is why I wanted to include this. Yeah, and that's it. That's my portfolio.